Hi everyone, and welcome back to Stamp with Anna. Today I'm going to make a graduation card for a young woman, and I don't have the card made yet. I have made it a couple times, and I've used the same design a few times this graduation season, so I don't have an end result to show you because I've given them away. But so you're going to watch the whole card come together. And the stamp set I'm going to use is this Beautiful You. And I'm going to use this woman right here. It's a nice two-piece set, but I'm just going to use that woman there. And that's the only stamp set I'm going to use for the outside. For the inside, I'm going to use the brand new Itty Bitty Greetings. And again, it's another two-piece set. And it has lots of sentiments. Anniversaries, sending prayers, just celebrate for you, congratulations, happy graduation. So if you don't have this new Itty Bitty Greetings, the newly retired Teeny Tiny Wishes, which was my other go-to, has also the same happy graduation. So I'm going to use happy graduation and congratulations. So what we need for paper is the school colors for this young lady are blue and orange. So I have for my base, I have a piece of the new Blueberry Bushel, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I have a piece of Pumpkin Pie, which is 4 by 5 1/4. Then I have a piece of Whisper White, which is 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm going to die cut a window out of here. And then on the inside, I have a piece of Whisper White, which is 5 1/4 by 8 1/4, scored at 4 1/8, and that's going to go right in here. So envision a window there, and then when you open it up, I'm going to have the girl right there. She's going to peek through the window. It'll all make sense when we get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is make my window. So I'm going to put some of my pieces aside. I'm going to start with my Whisper White. And I'm using the Layering Squares set. And that die set has a bunch of squares and a bunch of scallop squares. So I'm using the largest scallop, which is going to make my frame, and I'm using the second to largest square. So I'm going to position my framelit right there, and I'm going to run it through the Big Shot. I don't usually do my die cutting on camera. I usually go off camera to do it, but I thought I would do it on camera so I could show you exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to bring in my Big Shot, and I have my magnetic plate, and I'm going to put down an acrylic plate, and I'm going to center this. This is the top part of the card, so I'll do it this way. And I'm going to center my square where I want my window to be. And then I'm going to run that through the Big Shot. Scooch this over just a tiny bit to make sure that's nice and centered. And I'm going to run that through. And there's my window. Now I'm going to attach this with repositionable tape to my orange piece. And I'm going to center that up. And I'm going to bring my framelit back in. And I'm going to just line that up right there where that other square was cut. And I'm going to run that through. Now I'm gently going to peel this white one off. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm using framelits, I mean, it will go through 3 layers, but you really have to work hard to make it go through. So I'm just going to do 2 layers at a time. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take this. So when I'm done die cutting through my machine, and I should point out that I did open up my blue piece. I now have 3 pieces that when the hole is lined up, they layer perfectly. So now I'm going to put these pieces together. I'm going to take the orange one. Now I'm going to use regular snail because I do want it to stick. And I'm going to attach that. I'm going to line that square up. And now I'm going to attach the white piece. I'm going to drop that right in right there. Okay, and now I have a nice even border all around. Now if you find that you don't have an even border, I'm just going to try to shuffle this one more. It's not going to make a difference because we're going to make a frame around our window, and it will cover a little bit that you're off. See that? So I'm going to have this off just a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, so there is the outside of our card. Now I'm going to take the same square and I'm going to nest it inside the large scallop, and I'm going to run that through the Big Shot, and I'm going to make my frame. And again, I'm going to bring up the Big Shot just so you can see how it happens. Again, I have my platform and 1 acrylic plate, and I have my piece of scrap paper in blueberry bushel, and I'm going to nest these right there. See how they fit beautifully? I'm going to take another plate and run this through. And now I have a frame. And this frame is going to go right over here. And see, this piece will go on the inside here. So that's where my little woman is going to be stamped. And this is going to go right there. Now, when you open this up here, if you see how you can see the white there? I wouldn't give someone a card like that because that would bother me. I would make a second frame and just frame that out. It gives it a nice finished edge. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut another one of those next time I'm at the machine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this white piece and I'm going to butt it up to the score line here, centering it, and then I'm just going to make myself some guidelines. And that's where I know my image needs to be stamped. Okay, so now we're going to do our stamping. I'm going to stamp my image up in black. And I'm going to position her so that she's within my little guidelines there. The camera's in my way, so I hope I'm getting this straight. Straight down, straight up. Perfect. Now I have to color her. I'm going to color my girl. And again, I said the colors are blue and orange. And I am going to color her in blue, even though the girls are probably wearing orange. And the reason I don't want to color her in orange is because it might end up looking like skin tone, and that's not what I want on her. So I'm going to take my blueberry bush, I'll have to remember these names, and just dip my blender pen in there. And I'm going to color this dress, which I'm going to turn into a graduation gown. Now, a couple things to remember. This is not watercolor paper. It is regular Whisper White, so you don't want to be too heavy with your magic marker, because you might, with your Stampin' Right marker, because you might pill the paper. You also probably don't want to use blends if you have the Stampin' blends, because the blends will bleed through and the color will come through on the other side there. Okay, and now I'm going to color her arms, and they're going to make this like a long dress. Okay. And there she is. Now I'm going to color her skin, and I'm going to clean off my blender pen, and I'm going to, with some Blushing Bride, lightly pick some up and do her legs. It doesn't look too pinky, but again, if you have like skin tone markers, Copic markers, alcohol markers, that might bleed through the paper. So that's why I'm not using those. Those would be perfect. They're perfect for coloring, but they just might show through on the other side. Okay. There's that. Now, I'm going to take a tiny scrap of this blue, and I'm going to make her a graduation cap. But I'm going to do that after I put the whole card together. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase my lines. And when you're picking out a pencil, you want to make sure it's a pencil that erases really good. You don't want a pencil that when you go erase will leave residue on your paper. And now again, I'm going to come in and slip this right here, right up to that. I'm going to budge that right in. And as you can see, she fits there perfectly. Now I'm going to take my frame, and with my fine tip glue, I'm going to attach that to the front of my card. Just a little bit of glue is all you need. Alright. And now I'm going to just put this right here, right up to the edge. Perfect. Now I'm going to go do some more die cutting. I'm going to do some more die cutting, and what I'm going to die cut is I'm going to make another frame, and I'm going to do it in blue because I want it to blend right in. I'm going to cut another frame with these, and then I'm going to use the Celebrate You Thinlits, and I'm going to die cut out the words Celebrate and You. And I'm going to do the Celebrate twice. I'm going to do it once in the orange, the pumpkin pie, and once in the blueberry bushel. And the U, I think I'm going to do in the pumpkin pie. So I'm going to go run these through the Big Shot. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with all of my die cuts. So the first thing I'm going to do is I cut out the two of these, and I'm going to attach them to each other, and I'm going to offset them just a tiny bit so that it has a little bit of a shadow to it. So what I'm going to do is bring in my silicone mat, and I'm going to put my fine tip glue along the letters of the Celebrate. And I'm going to offset this over the blue one just a hair so it has a little bit of a shadow. Okay, see that? That just adds a little bit more dimension to the greeting. Now I'm going to turn that over and I'm going to add some more fine tip glue. And now I'm going to attach it to the front of my card. And I'm going to put that right here. Celebrate. I'll press that down. And isn't that pretty? Now right here, I'm going to take the U and I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm just going to attach that. And the reason I did the U in the orange of pumpkin pie is because her gown is in blue, blueberry bushel. I'm going to press that down. Now while I'm gluing, I did make a second frame. And again, I'm going to put some fine tip glue all along that frame. And I'm going to put the frame on the inside here. Now that might not bother you, but I like to have finished frames on the inside of the card as well as on the outside. It just gives the project a more finished, clean look. And it doesn't take much time. Okay, so there we go. Now we have to dress her up. And what I did was I cut a sliver of this paper, the blueberry bushel paper. It's 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. And I'm going to attach it to my stamped image using a mini glue dot. That's my mini glue dot. I'm going to pop that right in the center. I'm going to close this card so I know where to position it. And put it right there because I do want to hide the hat that's on the stamped image. Okay. And now she's graduating. She needs a tassel. So I have a tiny strip, a tiny scrap of Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to make a tassel. And with a bit of fine tip glue right in the center of the hat, I'm going to attach my tassel. And there she is. Now it says Celebrate You. And then we have to stamp on the inside of the card. So I've already mounted my stamps and I picked Happy Graduation and Congratulations. And I'm going to stamp that in Blueberry Bushel. Make sure I'm straight here. Straight down. Straight up. There we go. And our card is complete. Here we go. Here's the front of it. Celebrate You. Happy Graduation. Congratulations. And I think that's a really nice card. And I like the idea of making it in the school colors. So whenever I need one, I always go online and make sure I know what the graduate school colors are. And on my blog, where I'm going to post this on my blog. And on my blog post, I'm going to have pictures of the same card that was done in different colors. I recently had to make one for my daughter's friend who graduated from LaSalle College here in Newton, Massachusetts, and her colors were like a night of navy and a marina mist. So I did that one. And then I had to make one for another one of my daughter's friends who graduated with my daughter from Boston College. We're very proud of her. And Boston College colors are burgundy and gold. So I used some crushed curry and some retired, very retired Bravo burgundy that I had been stockpiling because I knew my daughter was going to be graduating and I was going to need a lot of that burgundy. So on my blog, you'll see this done in a couple different colors. And I think it is a really nice touch to personalize it with the graduate school colors. And that's why I chose to go with the blue and the orange here. So if you have any questions at all about this project or any of the products that I used, please contact me through my blog, www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com. And if you would like to receive a copy of the new 1819 Stampin' Up! Catalog, certainly let me know. There is a button on my blog to contact me, and it'll send me a direct message. You just drop me your address and I'll get a copy of the catalog out to you. So while you're at my blog, I encourage you to click on the newsletter button, subscribe to my newsletter, and it does go out usually every Tuesday. I try to be really good about it. Sometimes I don't get it out till Wednesday, but it does usually go out once a week on Tuesday, and it has a recap of all the projects I've posted the previous week on YouTube, as well as any information about specials and promotions that Stampin' Up! Is having, as well as promotions that I am having personally for my customers. So I hope you'll give it a look over and join the newsletter list. Thanks so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you back here soon.